At a time when the Transport Minister has just blamed Network Rail for the Rail Plan 2020 crisis, it is a slap in the face. Emily Yates, co-founder of the Association of British Commuters and the group's scathing assessment has won support from MPs, as well as commuters on social media. Soon to retire Mr. Carney, 58, chief executive of Network Rail, received the CBE for services to the rail industry in the Queen's Birthday Honours list. But commuters affected by the inability of rail companies to cope with the introduction of the new timetables on routes in the north and south of England on May 20 are less than impressed. Emily Yates, co-founder of the Association of British Commuters (ABC), said, "At a time when the Transport Minister has just blamed Network Rail for the Rail Plan 2020 crisis, it is a slap in the face." Yet Mark Carney's award of a CBD has left commuter groups unimpressed. It is a sign that the rail industry is really out of touch with the real pain and suffering that people are going through. It is a pantomime, Labour MP John Mann said. This is one of the most extraordinary rewards for failure. Can you imagine the anger as commuters read about this? On delayed trains and at stations? It is becoming a Monty Python sketch. West Reading, another Labour MP, added, "This will go down like a cup of sick with people who've suffered endless rail misery." Getty Transport Secretary Chris Grayling pinned part of the blame for the timetable fiasco on Network Rail. Own Twitter user wrote, "Carney's CBE must be for contempt before empathy." As always, adding insult to injury. But sums up the complete disdain for the fare-paying passenger. This country is run by the few for the few. All about lining the pockets of the super-rich with public money. A diabolical liberty. More than 10% of trains run on North and go via Thameslink Railway over the last fortnight have been subject to cancellation, or have been more than 30 minutes later. Transport Secretary Chris Grayling has pointed the finger at Network Rail and Mr. Carney, suggesting that it was very late in approving the new timetables, adding that a failure to complete infrastructure projects in the north had delayed the introduction of the new electric trains required. Getty services to trains across England were disrupted after the new timetable was introduced. Mark Carney last week said that the timetables had been finalised significantly later than normal for reasons that were both within and without our control, adding, "It has not been good enough and we know it." Mr. Carney is due to formally leave his post later this year, having announced his decision to retire in February. At the time, Mr. Grayling paid a glowing tribute to him, saying, "Mark has done an excellent job as chief executive of Network Rail, presiding over the biggest modernization of our rail infrastructure since Victorian times. He has provided very strong industry leadership on safety and digital rail, and Network Rail has significantly improved the railway for its customers under his direction." Mr. Carney's honour will have been proposed by officials at the Department for Transport, signed off by the department's permanent secretary and cleared by the Whitehall Honours Committee.